I remember my mama telling me that no matter what you become in life, no matter how far you go in life, to always remain humble and be authentic. Stay true to yourself, stay true to what you do, show love. Since I leveled up on them, they say I lost the spirit. If that's the case, why I'm still going hard with it. I get it, most of y'all still haven't graduated from that state of mind. It's why it's hard to grasp what I be saying. I understand how y'all sure must have felt hated by many when all they did was try to be a help, serving, healing, showing people how to elevate to the higher self. And even after all that, they still put that man to death. That opened up my eyes a lot. With all the stuff I talk about, y'all will take me out. It be the ones closest to you that you have to watch. They sit and plot, hoping one day they can take your spot. I've been counseled by many due to the truth I be spitting. There's so much life in these lyrics. Although your flesh don't receive it, your spirit love what it's hearing. The most I gave me the clearance to use the power within me to pull my people from ditches. Thanks to these elders and deacons who egos got them all tripping between them and those Christians. Tell me where is the difference? They talk so bad about the world, but worse than those who live in it. They are not in the truth, they just upholding the image. Are you focused on healing or are you checking for fringes? Do you care about the people or the money they giving you? And your church is ridiculous. I'm just trying to make sense of it like the knowledge I hold. Tell me why it's so limited. Y'all boxing the people in. I'm getting so sick of it. I know if I feel this way, the most I gotta be feeling it. Those of you who in these cliques, y'all can get it too. You ain't slick, my single eye see everything you do. So it's cool for you to sip on Hennessy, and it's wrong for your brother who enjoys smoking weed. Tell me what's the difference? I'll wait cause you may need a minute to sober up. Yeah, don't play, you see exactly.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just love. The world awaits to receive you.
All right. Let's guess who's back. Yes. It is Lashley, also known as Grace Levi, and today we're going to be coming with a reaction video and kind of like up to date on a topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about for a while, which is the Shanquella Jenkins situation, Shanquella Robinson, I do apologize, situation in which the Cabo Six are people who are allegedly accused of her demise. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to give you an update because this update made me happy. I got really happy today, guys. I got happy because we need justice, especially in the Black community. We suffer a lot of disparities amongst each other and from outside nations. And regardless of the situation, wrong is wrong. And a lot of people, no matter what color they are, they see that this is a major issue. And if it was their family, they would want justice for Shanquella as well. This situation mimics a lot of situations that has happened in America towards Black people, as far as the follow-up, as far as what we perceive as being disregarded as a community and people who are crying out for justice. So what we're going to do is get started with just a brief introduction about the Shanquella Robinson situation. And we're going to move forward into some updates just to give you a flashback, because we did talk about this in one of our hot topics, but not extensively. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to bring you up to date on what's going on as of last Wednesday, where some of the members of the Cabo Six thought that it was okay for them to go outside to the club together. The same individuals who are alleged responsible for this horrendous crime felt like they could go to a club. Okay, so we're gonna go into that. You see the smile on my face. I mean, it made my day. I don't, and I want to say this to start off. I don't support violence, but I do support justice. And at the end of the day, where I'm from, we don't people who can commit crimes like this do not walk the streets openly and boastfully. You at least go hide. And you know, my people, we from Haiti. I gave y'all a breakdown most recently. Things get real there. We're justice seekers at the end of the day. So this is why even with low income and things going on in Haiti, we were able to sustain because we have a strong system for justice. Okay, that's why they was beating on them young boys' butts. So I kind of got sidetracked, but that's kind of why I'm feeling the way I feel. I really feel that this Cabo Six needs to get what they deserve. So let's get this pictures on the screen. And what you're going to see is actually, I'm going to go to a Facebook group that is for Shanquella Robinson, and there's a slew of videos there that you guys can look at if y'all need just a briefing on what happened to her, step by step, because there's been a few things that happened in this case. The anticipation, waiting for autopsy to be done, even the fact that the parents had to pay to get her body out. So there's many developments that we're going to talk about. But first, I'm gonna let you watch this video, and then we're gonna get into kind of like a step-by-step breakdown as well. But this is a great breakdown in itself. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let's go.
Shanquella Robinson case because the Cabo Six were recently exposed for messing up the crime scene and setting Shanquella's body up to look like an accident. Things are not looking good for the Cabo Six because they are now in even more trouble. I swear, every single time we hear new details about the Shanquella Robinson case, it somehow gets worse because every new detail just tells us how dirty her friends did her. For a while now, we haven't really heard a lot about the case because these things take time. We do know that Mexico has filed a request for one of the Cabo Six to be extradited to Mexico to face charges. But we also know about how some Mexican police officers allegedly tried to cover up the crime scene because they had stolen about $17,000 from her luggage. Now, all of this is just super messed up, but new evidence has revealed that not only did her friends take her life, but they also messed up the crime scene in an attempt to cover their tracks in hopes of getting away with murder. So according to the reports, the friends had dressed Shanquella up after she had died and moved her body to set it up to look like she had fallen. Now, if you saw the video of her getting beaten up by Dejanay Jackson, you'll notice that she had no clothes on. I'm not gonna post that video because it's just plain horrible. But according to sources, Shanquella had fallen to the ground and had stopped moving after she had gotten beaten up. So it's unclear that she had passed away at that time, but she was not moving, and the Cabo Six have freaked out. They decided to dress her, and reports claim that they had dressed her in biker shorts and a black t-shirt. This singular fact implicates all six because there is no way that one person managed to move her and dress her all alone without help from somebody else. Biker shorts are extra tight and can be a hassle to put on yourself, so there is no way that one person managed to maneuver her body and lift it up enough to put the shorts on her. But they didn't stop there because they then moved her body after dressing her up. They moved her to the bathroom that was attached to the living room in the villa where they were staying, and they set her body up to look like she had fallen in the bathroom and was unable to get up. Again, this raised questions of why they didn't immediately call for help. She wasn't moving and they instead decided to dress her body up and then move her? You guys, this is just extra foul. And if they had called for help immediately instead of trying to cover their tracks, then there's a chance that Shanquella might still be alive and be spending the holidays with her family as she should. But according to more reports, just because the other people in the room with them didn't hit Shanquella or deliver the blow doesn't mean that they're going to get away scot-free, because there's still a high chance that they're going to be prosecuted for being accessories after the fact. They are in a whole lot of trouble, and they apparently know this because they have allegedly been snitching big time on each other in order to get plea deals and lighter sentences. This is how law enforcement got to know about how they dressed Shanquella up in the first place and how they messed up the crime scene. They might eventually be able to plead their way down to lesser charges with the exception of Dejanay, day if she is found to be the killer. But one thing that is clear is that no matter how hard they snitched, they're all going down for this. Someone commented, I don't think they planned on her, but definitely planned on beating her up and posting the video online to humiliate her. Just another example of how toxic the social media culture has become, with truly horrific results. I hope all of these pathetic attention-grabbing losers get the punishment they deserve.
All right, so we're going to stop right there. And before I move forward, I just want to give a little breakdown. I want to give a shout out to, I end up following this on Sweet News on Facebook. So shout out to them. You guys check it out. You know, they have updates on a whole bunch of interesting things. So I really like that page. I started to follow it. But as what we're talking about, some of the things that she mentioned here, just a breakdown of the sequence of events. Now, we know that it happened in October. She went out on vacation, and literally about 24 hours after she got there, something tragic happened to her. So, Mexico did an investigation, and allegedly this investigation took a while. We had a lot of suspense in the Black community. People really like Mexico better do what they supposed to do. So the anticipation was there, and it was amazing that Mexico actually put forth for extradition for at least one of the persons, because they found that person responsible of femicide, if you do remember. And that was probably like a month or two later, after the social media just kept on pushing on Miss Robinson's case. So as we move on, we do know before Shanquella's body was able to come back to the United States, her family had to pay a good amount of money. And that is one of the things that we really need to be careful about, as far as going out of the country and having the means to make sure that we're okay if something happened, knowing that our family knows where we're at. Everybody knows where we're at, not just one person, but everybody. As we talked about it before briefly, her father did not even know. So this is sad. Her father wasn't even able to say his goodbyes to his daughter, or even direct her in a way, because what we found out, and we're going to talk about this a little bit extensively, is the relationship amongst people. And it's not just young people, but I'm going to hone in on young people. The relationship dynamics is very toxic. And I think a lot of our young people are into this reality show type of behavior, as well as like Bad Boys Club, Bad Girls Club, in the fighting thing. I literally heard like people in their 20s, so this young girl say, basically, if me and, this is what she said, if me and my friend have an issue, we're going to fight it out. Now, as I mentioned to you guys, not even just coming from a nursing perspective, just being human, our body breaks, our bone breaks, our skin breaks, there's blood under this. So even though a lot of people are living on the computer and don't have a lot of human communication and touch, we're still real. Okay. So I think that is a serious disconnect that's happening. That's a foundation of this situation. Okay. I'm gonna get more in detail about my feelings about that, but I just want to let you know I'm gonna touch that topic, because later on towards the end, after we talk about Shanquella Robinson, we're going to talk about Kanika Jenkins just a little bit. And if you don't remember Kanika Jenkins, I'm going to make you remember it. And the foundations of her situation, which was very vastly different in scenario, but it seems to stem from the same thing: toxic friendships and being friends with people, being around people who truly don't like you and despise you. Okay, so we know the family had to pay to get her body out. Also, it was alleged that someone took $1,700 out of her bag. Now, they're saying it's the authorities, but the way that this Cabo 6 has been moving, I wouldn't put it past them. This is the most devious scenario I ever heard. You know, the way it went down, the way the video was posted. How? Because my thing is, it takes a send button for a video to be posted. Okay. So or even sent to someone else. So allegedly this video was sent to someone else and someone else posted, but that had to be sent from one of the alleged attackers or people in the room with her. So the mindset is what we have to think about, family. We on the Uncensored Enlightenment Talk, and we're going to talk a little bit more deeper about this, not just the scenario in itself, but how we're going to fix this as a community. Because right now it's to the point that the Black community ain't here to play, they're here to slay. And they're taking justice in their own hand. And I can't say be mad at them. I don't promote violence. But what I will say at the end of the day, justice is justice, and this bad behavior do have to be, addressed. So her friends left her in Cabo. Okay, they left her body in Cabo. How horrendous is that? So these are things you need to evaluate with your friends and the people that surround you. How would they behave? And it's sad because I was talking to someone about them thinking about going to the service as if she's a female. And I was just like, you need to be on point, make sure that you get your body strength right, calisthenics, and you better know how to fight. So you never know what's gonna happen, even with people that is on your side. And she was like, well, I don't think like that, baby. It would rather for you to be safe than sorry. And it's not to be just wipe out being optimistic, but we have to be real. So train your daughters, train your sons too, as well, because these men in this situation, dogs, and they were female dogs at that. I never seen men act so feminine, even if they're not, call themselves these different titles. The femininity, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to a lot of men gossiping and egging on fights between girls. I have seen that happen where, a couple fighting and the cousin come and a boyfriend there saying some stuff, but nothing like this where the person is recording like, is you gonna fight? And this is a whole man. I don't think that's acceptable just because he's of the male species. But that's just my opinion, because I do respect masculinity and I do respect how men, I'm not gonna say they gotta act a certain way, but I think men have a certain pause to them, because women, we deal with a lot of emotions. So when we go pop off at the mouth and blah 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 blah, the man's best bet is to handle how a man would, fall back, get control of the situation, keep calm, and definitely not let us get to the point that we're physically fighting, acting like raging bulls. Okay. So that's to the men that was involved in this, which I don't consider men. I call them female dogs, because that's what they are, sitting there hooting and hollering at this lady demise. Okay. So YouTube investigation got heated. Okay, still waiting. And like I said, as we was waiting for the actual Mexico authorities to finish their investigation, this, that, and the third, they have done it. I have to give cahoots to Mexico, because they like, hey, we ain't about to mess up our tourist thing and nobody be trusting us, because y'all people want to come here and be fighting and stuff. Now, I allegedly there was corruption in the investigation. As we talked about, one of the things was the alleged money. The second thing is how the actual medical team handle things. And from a nursing perspective, it was grossly negligent. And money should not make you decide what treatments you're going to get in the middle of a medical emergency. I don't know Mexico laws, but here in America, even me as a nurse, if I happen to drive by a scene and someone knows I drive by a scene, or I go online and be like, yeah, there was a scene there and that person died, I just kept moving. Actually, I can be held penalized for not helping, because this is part of my civic duty. I mean, they won't take my license, but it's part of what I should do as a healthcare provider. So imagine in the middle of a situation what you're supposed to do. So what it seemed like what happened was the people were directing the medical officials on exactly what was wrong with Shanquella, exactly what they should do, because allegedly it was a request to get her to the hospital, not immediately, but immediately. And that wasn't done and delayed until she started to go into, as they say, convulsions, allegedly. Now, I was not there. I do not know. But what I can say from spinal injuries, that sometimes the brain can still be alive, the heart and the body can still be alive. But if you're physically paralyzed, and it depends on what level the actual spine was severed, is going to say what's going to stop moving. Now, if you're in a car accident, you get a lower lumbar fracture or whatever, you're going to probably be paralyzed on your lower area. It depends on what nerves. And as you move up into your back cavity, right around here in your back, there is a nerve that deals with your diaphragmatic breathing. So it's not just the lungs going in and out. This is an automated nervous system that works. Okay, let's break this down. And it moves by itself, and it moves with your nervous system. That is one of the things that moves it, powerhouse it. Okay, our body is beautiful. So you have this right here, and there is nerve that connects to it that controls the contraction and the release. Contraction and release, and that helps. But if you have a severed nerves between anywhere this location and up to here, you are possibly severing that nerve and disturbing the breathing center. Okay. So I don't know how long it took for her to pass, but I will say, with that type of injury, allegedly, of what Mexico said, that is some of the course of what could go on. And she can be alive and watching things and just cannot move. How horrific. That's why I said I wanted to wait so I could get some more good news, because I felt some type of way. I do feel some type of way, but God be the glory. Hold on, I got a little stitch right there, something. Okay, God be the glory that I got some good news, because this is horrific if you know the details of it. So now you have this young lady slowly losing her breath, allegedly, because one of her nerves was between it could be between C2 and C5, but things, other nerves that are lower on the spinal column, can be affected as well, and then cause you to slowly demise. So you possibly had that happen on top of them sitting there, getting her dressed, moving her body. One of the worst things you can do with anyone who has a spinal injury, what do they say? When someone comes out of a car accident, don't move them. You especially don't move their neck, because if you move their neck wrong and it's an injury, it could exacerbate that injury and cause death to that person. So imagine, she could have survived if they wasn't doing all of this crazy stuff to her. People who watch the video, yeah, watch exactly when she hit the corner of that bed, and I'm not going to play it. She literally dropped down like a doll. You saw her head drop, her arm drop, and it was like, okay, that's what I consider nerve damage, okay, or maybe severed. Maybe, I don't know the autopsy. I wish I can see it. If somebody do have it, send it to my email. I would love to read it, and I'll break it down from my perspective as a nurse, and I'll put it on. Actually, I have two platforms that's uncensored. It won't go up on YouTube, but we have Rumble page as well as we have BitChute. BitChute, I like BitChute. We our audience is engaging, you know, different type of audience, and I love you guys. Shout out from Grace Levi. Okay, so that's where you're going to see some more uncensored information. But right now, this is what we're talking about: the damages that possibly could have been done to this young lady and how slowly she passed away. This is a terrible scenario. And then imagine these people just leaving her, doing all of this stuff. So they have, to me, even if, you know, based on the investigation and what they said in this video, that allegedly they were telling on each other, the cops was talking to them, I would assume and hope that the FBI went to talk to them, and whatever their story was had to involve what happened or something. And what they mentioned is that they admitted to moving the body and getting the body dressed. That's tampering with a corpse. That is tampering with evidence. That why not? At least these charges are being brought against them. And this is something that the Black community is enraged about in the inside. Okay, so understand, when you see what happened to some of the members of Cabo 6, in a little while you're gonna understand why they got the ultimate whooping. It's whooping. You already know what I want to say, and I love it. I'm sorry, because this is why I feel the way I feel. The damage that they did to her is nothing compared to the little fight that they had out there. The girl they still got their life. Shanquella don't. So, as we know right now, the extradition request is in, and guess what? Guess what? America, or the FBI, whatever you want to say, whoever's supposed to be in charge of actually obtaining these people and getting them out to Mexico, which you can pay $200 for a one way, or $50, $60 on a plane to get them there. Just get them there. But you can't spend that money to get them there when Mexico want them for femicide. So that's where we're at right now. As far as what's going on, the family is still crying out as of April. I'm going to show you some of those clips of the family. And now they have a lawyer, and the lawyer last name is actually Robinson as well. So, and she says no relation, but she gonna go in. And I really admire this young Black lawyer. Okay. So also, it was allegedly Ben Crump was involved, but obviously he not, because they have a lawyer. So let's keep that in mind too, because when I talk to y'all about Ben Crump, he's always in something, and that's not just to throw him down in the dumps. But baby, money talks and BS walks. And your face is all over. Now we need more than just a face and people talking on the screen. Where's all this money going? And if you have anything to say about Black Lives Matter, you should be the one that's trying to start an organization in the Black community and just fixing what we need to fix. Because at the end of the day, we cannot depend on anyone. You need to start at home. You need to start in your community. This is where it starts. You don't have to make a big organization. You can have boys and teenagers and teenage girls get together on the weekend, talk about different topics, go different places, just engage with them so we can try to mitigate stuff like this. As I talked about, that mean girl mentality, no morals, no values, ready to fight, ass naked, excuse my language, no respect. They want to embarrass people like a dog. Who raised these people? And you say they come from good households, but obviously it's either the internet or you full of the devil. They deserve what they get. So let's move forward. I know I went in on a little tangent, but I wanted to give my breakdown a little bit about that because I feel some type of way. That's why. Because I was one of the people that definitely talked about Kanika Jenkins and her death. And don't forget about Kendrick Johnson. These are different situations, but how they handled the investigation is what I'm saying. It's a disregard for us. And we have to admit it. So now this is just an update. This was actually, but this was not, this is kind of the timeline I'm about to show y'all, a brief timeline, November 23rd, 2022. So you know this was like a month after Ms. Robinson passed away. And I'm going to get it on the screen real quick. Make sure I get on there real good for you. I always do that. I'm learning this stuff, guys. Bear with me. Very disrespectful. They're very disrespectful. I don't play with people like
death of an American tourist in Mexico. The FBI has now opened an investigation into Shanquella Robinson's mysterious death. Matt Rivers is in Mexico City for us. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Robin. We've been covering this story for more than a week now, and with this new information that just came out really yesterday evening and overnight, more questions than ever now surround the death of Shanquella Robinson here in Mexico.
This morning, a family looking for answers surrounding the death of North Carolina native Shanquella Robinson at a luxury resort during a vacation in Mexico. The FBI now investigating as a bombshell new development has emerged. Mexican authorities say the American tourist may have been alive and that a medical professional on site may have been working on the 25-year-old for 3 hours before police arrived on the scene.
Wait a minute. You see what I'm saying? When I go back and look at these, we pay attention to more details. 3 hours? She may have been alive. Exactly what I was just mentioning to you guys. When you have a spinal injury, alleged in her case, and I can't say it is, but that's what we're thinking, you can still be alive. So she was breathing, but she may be, her breathing sensor may have been slowing down, which she wasn't responsive, and they knew it. So they're saying that she has severe liquor intoxication. But if you see if someone is not responding, there is a neuro assessment that we must do as healthcare providers. And that neuro assessment, we take a pen light and we make you follow it. If you can't follow it, we at least look at the reaction of the eyes to see if the eyes is dilating or contraction. It'll tell us if we have some type of brain injury going on. Okay. This is something you can do in less than 2-minute assessment. Put that lady in neck in the gurney, in a sling, and get her out of there. Period. I'm a little like astonished about the way Mexico handled this. You know, they could have did much better. 3 hours working on her body. How? When you don't have the equipment in the hotel to do what you need to do. Okay. She needed a breathing tube put down her throat, possibly a ventilator to keep her alive, get her stabilized, do x-rays and CAT scans on her to see exactly what was going on with her spine, keeping her in one position, and then start to get her on tube feeding or TPN so she can have nutrition and get her healing with surgery. But that's all I'm saying as a healthcare provider. That's what I think should happen, but sometimes it don't even happen in America. So I'm going to take a whole glass and shut the hell up. But that's just what I thought was supposed to happen. So you guys are not wrong to think that different things were supposed to happen. They handled it grossly negligent. I would never be on the scene for 3 hours with someone. Once I get there within 5 minutes in my assessment, proves that I can't bring them back to life or they're not functionable, they got to go. They got to go.
According to local Spanish language reports, one of the guests staying at the resort called for help around 2 p.m. upon arriving, informing medical professionals that she had, quote, drunk a lot of alcohol. A doctor reportedly said she was stable but dehydrated, suggesting she be treated at a hospital. The guests, however, insisted she stay in the villa. Law enforcement authorities not called until later, eventually declaring Robinson deceased just after 6 p.m. Those reports differing from an autopsy obtained by ABC News, listing that medical professionals arrived at the villa around 3 p.m., declaring her dead within 15 minutes, citing the Charlotte native died from a severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck.
We got our first dead body.
This morning, a new video surfacing showing Shanquella resting in a hammock at some point before the trip turned deadly.
Buddy.
I heard some stuff, a dead body. And, that just made me wonder, that was they playing all the time.
This on the heels of the now viral video, too violent to show, of a female roommate appearing to assault Shanquella.
They just stood there and watched and didn't even try to stop it or break it up. She wasn't even fighting back. They attacked her.
Over the weekend, the community gathering to lay the once vibrant businesswoman to rest. Justice can't come soon enough for the Robinson family.
They let me know that my daughter's being murdered wasn't going to go in vain, that somebody's going to be prosecuted.
All right, I'm just going to pause it right there. And one of the things that's heartbreaking too, because when we get into them getting their butt whooped, somebody graduated, somebody went to a graduation, somebody's living their life based on the pictures of the altercation. And then it was a picture on one of the Cabo 6 Facebook page, still living their best life, or I think somebody else with them in it. So this is deeply troubling. Mom is suffering. This is a baby. She's a baby. She's a baby. So let's move on into our next clip. So we do know the Shanquella Robinson, she was murdered. I would assume so while being on vacation. We're going to leave the article down there for you, as well as we're going to move on to what the attorney has to say. Okay. So we do have, give me a second because things kind of moving slow. I want to make sure that we're good. We do have, now we know her attorney, which is named Miss Robinson. God be the glory. God is funny. I hope Miss Robinson go in like she a family member, because she was like, Miss Robinson, no relation, because it could be conflict of interest. She's not supposed to represent the family if they're family, so I don't know. I just wanted to mention that. So here we go. A little bit about the attorney. This is ridiculous. All right. Then we got it on the screen a little bit. This is what's, I'm afraid I may not show this right here because Revolt, I think sometimes they're weird about their articles being read, and I don't want to have any trouble. Okay. So let's just go into this. Shanquella Robinson wants to know as the FBI investigate America's woman death in Mexico. And that is, again, this is November 2022. This is a one minute clip. Okay. I'm sorry, I took that off the screen because some people be very weird. Even when I read the article, the mainstream news don't do that, but Vlad TV did that. And I don't know if Revolt is going to do that. So I don't want to have any drama with them because y'all know I'll be taking stuff to heart. See the spinal cord, y'all. Multiple kicks and punches to the head. One video. Now, I just want y'all to highlight that Mexico caused a problem too, because the way this system works, they want to be really sticklers when it comes to certain things and not sticklers to certain things. So by Mexico messing up on that autopsy, it kind of made it a little bit invalid for court proceedings in America because of the time of death, allegedly, and how long they said that the body was there, how long they were working on the body. So that is another reason why the U.S. attorneys would take it upon their self, allegedly. I'm just kind of giving you assessment from my opinion, studying law, loving the research law as well. And y'all know I'm a legal nursing consultant, that this is one of their reasons. One, oh, it can be a doubt because we don't have that correct autopsy. But what we found out is that they actually did an autopsy. And I think I got what they autopsy said. You don't go into that. It's up. Baby. So they said that she had to be treated first before them actually saying that they can go after them for femicide. So I guess with their proceedings, if you just read what was there, and I'm gonna share these links with y'all at the bottom, that basically that was part of Mexico process. Before they can put a charge on femicide, they need evidence. And according to the evidence of their autopsy, that's when they went for it and allegedly moved forward on Dejanay Jenkins. Dejanay was the only one, the one that had the striped shirt. I'm getting the names together, that was supposed to be extradited. But I think soon as she would have got there, things would have changed. So Mexican authorities looking to extradite American over death of Shanquella Robinson. Let's look at this just short report. And this is a timeline. So if you guys didn't see the timeline, don't know the timeline, that's why we're going over it before we share our little bit of happy Black news, because we Black people need justice. We stress.
North Carolina to be extradited back to Mexico to face questionings about the woman's death. They also revealed that Shanquella Robinson was killed in a, quote, direct attack, not an accidental one. I spoke with Robinson's father last night about what he wants to see, what kind of justice he expects from Mexico and from the U.S., and why he blames his daughter, Shanquella Robinson's friends, for her death.
I want the truth, man. I just want them to get back over there and tell the Mexican authorities why they did what they did. I can't even be a grandfather. I can't even walk down the aisle, man. The only thing I can do is cherish the moment that we had, the 25 years while she was here on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring in now Deborah Blum to talk more about this case. She is a criminal defense attorney. Deborah, as I mentioned, Mexican authorities are seeking an extradition for an American woman. They haven't identified the person by name. What we know so far about the story, of course, is that Shanquella Robinson's friends said that it was alcohol poisoning. Then an autopsy revealed a different story, that she died from an injury to her neck and her back. And then we saw these videos, extremely graphic, showing this woman being attacked. What are the next steps to get somebody extradited? I know that Mexico and the U.S. have had an extradition treaty since 1862. Then it was ratified again in 1978. We know of many cases where Mexico extradites people to the U.S. to face justice here. But how consequential is this order at this point? How long may it take, and what's next?
You know, each situation is an individual process. I'm imagining here that because of the horrific nature of this murder, that the extradition will happen sooner rather than later. The American authorities will have to locate the woman who is wanted for Miss Robinson's death, and then they'll have a proceeding here where she'll be brought into court and the judge will determine whether or not she will be extradited. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't be returned to Mexico to face criminal charges.
So, I mean, one of the things that I'm curious about too is if for some reason the U.S. is not, successful in extraditing her to Mexico, or Mexico is not successful in the U.S. Getting her there, can the U.S. or authorities here also press charges? Could she face some kind of legal consequence here as well?
Generally, they would not be able to move forward with the prosecution here for a murder that occurred in another country, but stranger things have happened. People are prosecuted for crimes that primarily...
I'm sorry, I just have to stop right there real quick. I'm going to try to find it. But there was a murder of a Caucasian woman by her husband years ago in the 90s, if I can remember, that took her to the Cayman Islands or something and murdered her. And when he got here, they locked him up. We're going to find that story. I remember. So I hope she has better memory, but I support what she's saying.
Took place in other countries but impacted the United States. So I think that people do want to see justice for Miss Robinson, and people in the justice system here will go to whatever ends are necessary to make sure that that happened. I mean, this is certainly another Natalie Holloway situation, which is really terrible. This was a beautiful young woman who had her whole future ahead of her, and it seems like her friends are the perpetrator of this gruesome death.
I also wonder the alternative, which is what Mexico is seeking. If this person, or even the friends, because just from reading the police reports from Mexican authorities, it says that, they're not done. It's not necessarily just this person who could face charges, that their investigation continues, and others could be brought to justice for either being accessories or taking part in a cover-up and things like that. But what kind of rights do Americans have while facing charges in another country, in this case, of course, being Mexico?
Well, I want to touch upon the fact that here, the individuals, if they're caught not telling the truth to U.S. authorities who are assisting in this investigation, we know that the FBI is involved, then those individuals could face charges in the United States for interfering with the investigation and various other charges. In terms of the process of getting them to Mexico and what the criminal case will look like in Mexico, I can't speak to the specifics of what a proceeding is like in Mexico. I can only tell you about the process here in the United States.
Okay, so let's stop right there because I like what she was saying. But as I told you, there was a guy who murdered his wife in the islands. And guess what? I just found a recent one. The one I was talking about was like in the 90s. And this happened in Fiji. Fiji is not the United States. But I just want to show you that this is happening, and it didn't just happen to her. So what she said as a lawyer is kind of off because there is some precedents of this. Here we go. Man who allegedly murdered his wife during their honeymoon, charged with her murder. Now, I thought this was a long time ago, so I don't know if it's this story, but I got good photogenic memory. The dates be off with me, guys, but I know what I know. So let's just watch this real quick because she said that this is no type of cases like this. So let's see how they handling this guy who murdered his wife. So, okay. The Tennessee man accused of murdering his wife on their honeymoon in Fiji is being charged with one count of murder for her death. Who's charging him? Bradley Robertson Dawson, hold on, let me get this off the string, allegedly murdered Christy Chan while at a Joshua Allen resort on July 9th. Wow. Okay. He's being charged. Dawson authority previously confirmed to Fox 13 Memphis on July 18 that the Chin body was found inside the hotel room in Fiji. Not out here. However, he could not confirm the manner of which Chain passed away. I'm still using a better word. Added that Dawson maintains his innocence. This is brought to you by People. The murder allegedly happened at Fiji Turtle Island Resort, which served as a location for the Blue Lagoon in 1981. Just want to show y'all similar cases. We can confirm that an incident took place between a couple at the island on July 9th, which has resulted in the tragic outcome and charges being laid. Turtle Island result. Okay. Let's go to the next one. We are deeply saddened by the event and send our sincerest condolences to Miss Chen family and friends. I'm gonna look into this more deeply. Dawson's being kept in custody in Fiji and has next court custody date scheduled for August 18th. Dawson in jail without bond and could face life in prison if found guilty. Let's keep our eyes on this situation. Now, in his situation, he may have not been able to leave Fiji. So I'm going to go into more detail about this. We're going to do a little background about this. But I'm telling you, this ain't something that's new. So she can't say, oh, this is not common. People don't go to other countries outside of America and go harm people. Yes, it's starting to be a precedent, and this is what's going on in different countries because people think exactly what's happening with the Cabo 6 is going to happen to them. No. So, all right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next subject. Next one. So, Shanquella Robinson update family calls for diplomatic intervention months after death. This is March. And that's what I told you. We had Crump on the case, and that's when I talked about it. They're still calling. It happened in October. We're now in March, and this is brought to you by Channel 7 News. Let's watch it real quick, and then we're going to move on to the next
This morning, for over 125 days, the family of Shanquella Robinson outraged, demanding justice after the 25-year-old was found dead at a luxury resort in Mexico.
15 weeks and 3 days, and still, with all this visual evidence, nobody has been arrested.
Last October, Robinson was found dead in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico, during a group vacation. Authorities finding her body less than 24 hours after she arrived. She and a group of 6 other individuals traveled there for vacation, the party reportedly blaming Robinson's death on alcohol poisoning. However, an autopsy later concluded that she had suffered trauma to her neck and spine. In one now viral video, too violent to show, Robinson is seen being severely beaten by another woman in her hotel room, while at least 2 other people in the room watch or record the incident. Mexican authorities say the investigation is ongoing and that this was not an accident, but a direct attack on Robinson. Mexican authorities issued an arrest warrant for a female suspect back in November 2022 and requested she be extradited from the U.S.
No one has been arrested. The people who knew what happened to my daughter are living their lives. They have returned to work, and my family is left to wait and we to beg for answers.
Now I'm gonna stop there. They did return to work because we have our YouTube investigations, which I love. I watch some of their lives, but their lives be so long I can't be there all day. But they go into detail. One of them, I forgot her name. If I can, I'll put her video down there where she called the grandmother of one of the Cabo 6 and basically asked her, "Are you the grandmother? Do you know what your grandkid did?" And the lady was like, "Who are you to call us?" And da-da-da-da. And she was like, "Well, how do you feel about the girl dying? Like, don't you care that she died?" And the lady was like, "God is going to judge you. He knows our heart." And a bunch of BS. Okay. So a shout out to the investigators on YouTube, the Black community doing what they supposed to do, even though it be seeming like a whole lot of going on, but y'all get the job done. So I got to give y'all a shout out again. So now here is April 12th. This is as of last month. Yes, we are getting to the fight. Okay, we're getting to the beat down, but you just gotta wait because I want you guys to be able to see it. Y'all want to see the beat down? Y'all can go watch the beat down somewhere else, but we're gonna get to what actually happened to her and how us as the Black community have to do better. We have to do better. So let me see if I can get this on the screen. And this is an update with her on April the 4th. So we're getting up to now, guys. I'm glad you got patience.
New here for the family of Shanquella Robinson and their attorney are speaking out this afternoon.
This is after the Justice Department hours announced federal charges will not be filed in her death. It's been nearly 6 months now since she died in Mexico while on vacation with a group of friends. Today, one of her attorneys slammed delays in the investigation, saying the autopsy done in the U.S. was done after Shanquella's body had been embalmed.
Wow.
Robinson also said that reports from the second autopsy showed brain swelling, but said the cause of death was inconclusive.
So while we're here disappointed, we're not deterred. We're going to continue to press on. We're going to continue to demand that there's a high level of diplomatic intervention in this case.
Shanquella Robinson's death certificate says she died after suffering a severe spinal cord injury and a broken neck. A video later surfaced that appeared to show her being beaten.
All right, so my thing is they're basically not moving forward. So we wanted to show you this and why people are so upset and feel like the Black community can't get justice in what we call America with the KKK in it. I'm just playing. I'm not, because when it comes to this right here, this is severely injustice, okay? Hold on. Yeah, hold on, guys. Sorry. Moving forward, attorney family asked for federal help against Shanquella Jenkins, and this was April 12th. So it's the same thing.
Because it's deserved. It's our right as U.S. citizens.
Loved ones and lawyers for Shanquella Robinson are outraged. Federal investigators told them they will not press charges in her mysterious death in Mexico.
That update now means any legal action on her fatal trip to Cabo will come from Mexican authorities. We streamed that news conference live on our WSOC app around 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Channel 9's Joe Bruno was there. And Joe, the family, they're telling you that they're not losing hope in this search for justice, even with this news.
Disappointed, but not deterred. That is the message from Shanquella Robinson's family and attorney. While charges from the U.S. will not move forward, the case in Mexico remains open.
Okay.
That Black and brown people always have to carve their own path to justice.
Yeah.
The family of Shanquella Robinson says their path to justice is longer and more complicated. They met this morning with the FBI in Charlotte and were told the U.S. will not be filing charges in this case, a case that has captivated the nation. 26-year-old Robinson traveled to Cabo in October with a group of people she considered friends. She never came home. Family says they were told she died of alcohol poisoning, but an autopsy in Mexico said she died of a broken neck and spinal cord. And a video also surfaced of her being attacked by another woman on the trip.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video.
Thank you.
And then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe. We're not going to be charged with a crime.
Despite the Mexican autopsy saying she died of a broken neck and spinal cord, the Mecklenburg County Medical Examiner says an autopsy conducted more than 2 weeks later showed no signs of those injuries. Robinson's attorney said it was conducted too late and after she was embalmed.
And it was not taken seriously until the people had to say, hey, we're not going to accept that this is just what it is.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says there's not evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a crime was committed. But the case out of Mexico remains open, and that's one reason the Robinsons' attorney still has hope.
We're very disappointed, very deeply disappointed, but we're not deterred and come back to them.
Okay, my hands is up because I got to say, God, give me this strength. Give me the strength to hear them say it's not enough evidence to prosecute beyond a reasonable doubt. When it comes to us, reasonable doubt when we are trying to get justice, but when they're trying to lock us up, it's railroad season in the court. They could just throw any type of things there in front of their judge, and the judge will take it allegedly, and then when we fight for our right, deny. I've seen it on a lot of levels, and I'm not talking just from, I'm talking about being in court, seeing certain things. But you have people who are Toms and Mrs. Toms that feels like that's just the way the system is. I make my money off of it, and that's just the way it is. I'm trying to move up. Okay. But you see me, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And I'm going to talk to you guys about going to learn how to research law, understanding why they're applying these laws to us like this when they want to. We are not consistent. The way they treat us as Black people is not consistent with the Constitution. It seems like we are that 3/4 that's still written in the Constitution, but people keep saying, "Oh no, not the Dodd-Frank Act, but I forgot the name is right at the end of my tongue. It'll come back. But basically, they said that was null and void. Okay, after one of our slave ancestors fought for his rights for over 10 years, even in federal court, died just shortly after receiving his freedom. Okay, I forgot the name of that case, but I'll bring that back up to you. This is the hardships that we face. So I don't want to hear that this is an equal and just yoke system. Tell me, show me the proof. Show me the proof. If we ever have a bunch of people, and I will hope it's Black people, but sometimes we just don't do that, because you're going to see in a YSL case who is actually the expert witnesses related to our culture. It is 2 white men. We have to do better as Black people in doing research, showing evidence based of the corruption. That's one of the things that we can do. You know, if anybody put something like that together, I'll be down to get on the team. We do a bunch of researchers finding case laws and comparing cases of the same criminal aspect with different racial colors in the outcome. They have done this many times and show how heavily Black people are prosecuted for the same crimes of their counterparts from other nations. But when we cry victim, and we are a victim, we are treated like this, which is basically the same side of the justice system. We get nothing. So now what you have is you have people who are taking justice in their own hand. And I really believe that by the FBI, you don't got to lock them up here. You don't got to lock them up here. You could just send them on back to Cabo. Put them on a plane. It don't cost enough. You sent all them Haitian people back. You sent all my Haitian people back to Haiti when they was coming over here. We got all the Palestine, everybody coming through here. You just picking and choosing what you want to do, huh? You got the money for that, but you can't go to these 6 houses. People who didn't move, don't have the money to move, families still working in the same businesses they're working on. YouTube content creators is finding out where they're at, but we have the FBI that they can't or won't do that. This is why I waited to talk about this, because I'm going to be passionate on uncensored. This shit is uncalled for. Excuse my language, especially because I know at one point I was younger, going to places with people who didn't really like me, but I just wanted to experience something new, you know, and I knew these girls didn't like me. That's what I was doing here. And they was as shady as hell, but God be the glory. I was protected. Even when I got sick, they left me by myself in a hotel. I locked that motherfucker and said, God, come on. I'm throwing up everything. Nobody checking on me, bringing me water, nothing. They just would have left me to die, left me too. So I sympathize with this, because as a young woman, if we don't grow up with a lot of female friends and that type of acclamation in our life from our father, from our foundation, we start to strive or crave certain admirability from social media, friends, toxic relationships, things that is literally will kill us. Okay. And this is what I talk to my kids about, having discernment, because everything that look nice is not nice. And if somebody don't really check on you genuinely, really talk to you, like, I'm gonna give you an example. You talk about something that's going on with you, and then that person just go and start talking about themselves and all about them, and they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a damn. So that's one telltale sign with somebody that's so self-absorbed, you mean nothing. A friendship is a 50-50. If you're feeling down, you're feeling happy, you should be able to share that with your friend. There's no animosity because I'm getting money, because that was one of the things with alleged Shanquella. She was doing hair, flourishing with her business, and she was allegedly a very, very nice girl, like very nice, like kind-hearted, to the point of being a little bit naive. But guess what? Black community ain't about to let that shit slip, baby. So let's get down to, this is brought to you by the NCB, North Carolina. They caught them getting a tail beat. I'm going to go straight down to the Balance. And then we go up to the article. We're going to go right up to the balance. Look at balance. Balance. Look. So this is one of the girls of the Cabo Six, friend of Janae Weathers and Lisa. They didn't get clear pictures. This is Janae. They said, Janae. I call her Janae like she my friend. She ain't my friend. Janae. This is her, and this is what they saying her getting tapped on. Okay. Now this is a young lady. That's her friend. That they have a picture of this young lady at a graduation. Which I say these people just living their whole damn beautiful life. Beautiful life. Okay. So let's get down to it before we read all of this. I want to see the video. Shout out to the NCB. Information, educational purposes only. This is Ain't That Violent. Now the girls with the workout outfits, I sell these workout outfits too. We're gonna show y'all. We got that on our website. They fit. Okay. Shout out to the girls. Those are the ones that's actually fighting with the Cabo Six. So those girls with those workout outfits are the ones. And they tearing down. And I don't promote violence. Okay. Now, this is about 2 minutes of violence. Let me kind of just go through it a little bit, pull up. I want to share the link with you guys. I want to look, we're gonna mute it. So there they go. So let's read that. We're gonna put this in the link for you guys so y'all can watch this yourself, because most content creators literally just read it like they done found this information themselves. And you know I'm not gonna do that. So this is the NCB, and let's get to it. Baby, they taught him a new A. Okay. Video shows street justice met 3 members of the Cabo Six in Greensboro, North Carolina. This was May 11th. Okay. And this is brought to you by the NCB, North Carolina Beat. Chav, say it ain't so, or it is. Okay. It says word on the curb that 3. This is how they write it. So I gotta read what they wrote. Okay. Oh, it just shows that 3 fools who thought it was safe for them to walk the streets of Carolina after what they did to the world's best friend Shanquella Robinson was spotted outside the Electric Tequila in Greensboro, North Carolina Wednesday night and got hands put on them. We know it wouldn't be long before Alyssa Hyatt, Winter Devine, Dejanay Jackson get scratched up for what the street says is just the beginning. I don't even understand. My thing, there must be dumb criminals, because if you did something, if I did dirt with you, I'm not about to chill with you. We hot, but they don't care. So at first, North Carolina Beach struggled with the video as far as releasing it, but after we watched and watched the video, we were able to make out at least 2 members of the Cabo Six in the video getting whooped. Not only that, but people who were there and witnesses told North Carolina Beat that the Hyatt, Devine, and Jackson were the ones in the video getting beat down from an amazing grace to a floating opportunity. This they words, okay? Look at the photo below. In a still shot, you can see Dejanay Jackson in the blue shirt, ripped blue jeans, shorts, or whatever she got on. So she got Daisy Dukes on. This is her with a blue shirt. Okay. We initially reported that the ladies in this white outfit with leaves on it was Winter Devine. So that was Winter, and it's not. So they said they thought it was her. The person is Jo, Alyssa, the friend of Dejanay Winter and Alyssa. So she's just a friend, as they say. It's not her, but she was in there fighting. Why you with them? So what you got, and you wasn't even there. You deserve to get your hands touched right there. Right there. You're going to be messing with girls with workout outfits and coming to the club. You already know girls come to the club with jeans and sneakers and you all dressed up cute. Those not the girls you better mess with, because those are girls that are going to put hands on you because they came to slay. They the hood chicks. They the ones that's around. That's probably their bar, and you done messed up. Okay, that's what I know. Me from Newark. If I'm coming into a club like this or a bar, that's my local bar. I probably been there a lot or whatever back in the day. Okay, you get dressed up when you don't know the place. You want to go show out a little bit, or it depends on the scenery. So obviously these girls knew where they were getting at. And this guy, I hope he wasn't trying to fight. Look at him, men fighting females instead of trying to break it up. I hope he was. I hope his hand just got stuck in the picture like that. So here's the photo of her after the graduation ceremony Wednesday. So it was that day. Here you go. Thought you was about to be out living your best life. We have been unable to identify Winter in the video, but eyewitness says she was there. We know Alyssa Hyatt and Dejanay Jackson were there and got beat up. Gerald, I got some tea. Okay. He said, hi, thank you for the messaging us. If you have any stories, Van, you called me. The Cabo killers got beat. Justice for Shanquella. My friend went out to the club last night and spotted a few of them illers from the video. I do see Winter on the floor. Okay. The girls from Shanquella case was spotted out and about at the club last night in Greensboro. They got they beat. This video is Winter Donovan in the white. Okay. How can y'all be bold enough to be back out living life? What the F? Okay, so that's how they updated this source. Okay, the sources went to breaking news. So where am I? Okay, hold on, y'all. It went to breaking news. That's how we got there first. Okay. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I had to turn off that alarm. So that's how the news came out. So shout out to breaking news. And now let's get down just a little bit more. According to the sources involved in the altercation, she and her friends were inside Electric Tequila Wednesday night when the woman they realized as Dejanay Jackson asked one of their friends was recording her. So Miss Dejanay still can't even take a whole glass to shut the fuck, and just be quiet and dip off because you a whole murderer. So you must think you got them hands. You must think you got them hands. So you got the nerve, Miss Dejanay, and come out, oh, are you recording me? And the girl went on to say, the woman told Hyatt, no. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? So after Hyatt walked away, the girl said her friend asked her, who was that? And she told her it was the girls who did that to Shanquella. Okay. So they was minding their business with their workout clothes that we sell. Okay, we're going to have to show you that before we start talking about the Kanika Jenkins, okay? But with that goes to say, the woman said after the bar closed, the members of the Cabo Six kept saying, shh. So she and the others went to their aides. So the Cabo Six was literally, or the people, those three, was the people who were the aggressors in this. This is why you have to give people justice, because when you don't give people justice, they become emboldened, such as this, and think that they can sit here and just do their thing. They say, oh no, we don't care. We don't care. We could go where we want to. Ain't nobody going to stop us. But guess what? The workout crew said, no, that's not happening. Get down on the floor. Okay, I don't promote violence, but I do promote justice. This made my day. Okay, let me stop before they like promoting violence. So I will share the clip with you guys in the description below if you want to see it. Actually, too, before I upload the description, I'm gonna put it in the live just for y'all to have it. Go ahead and watch it because this is the original article that came out. So I am excited, and what I think, just to be honest, by the cops not prosecuting or picking these people off the street, they're going to make the Black community, and not just the Black community, because you got people who are enraged because they have teenagers. They have teenagers who they know who is beautifully naive or beautifully blissful naive. I have some that I have to kind of like, cut it out. That ain't your friend. Look what they doing. Ma, you always say, I'm telling you, oh, it's just your intuition. No, it's actually their behavior. And from what I've seen, because we, us 80s babies, we went through the time where people showed their face and we didn't have to be politically correct. So if you felt some type of way, you said it. We picked up on vibes here because people allegedly try to be politically correct and nice, nasty. They hide some of their true intentions. And if you don't have the intuition, it's going to go right over your head. If you blissfully naive, oh, you know, I'm just optimistic, your ass going to go into a depression because all people going to do is take advantage of you because they smell gross naiveness. Okay? Even when they assume you naive, they try to take advantage of you. Because when I be quiet, you see this face. I be sitting there like this. I'm like, oh, she's so nice. And so I start talking, they be like, oh, shit. You about to leave her alone. Don't let the looks fool you, baby. Okay? Yeah. Let's put the glasses on so I can look sophisticated in this. Okay. We back. So if you want any information about Shanquella Robinson case, updates, videos, this is actually a Facebook page dedicated to her. You can get more detailed information about what's going on with her, and we're going to keep you up to date because I don't know how long these people are going to be alive. And I'm not wishing death on nobody. The Cabo Six not doing too well. I don't even think they family have discernment. Because that was my son's or daughter, I would have got them out the country. We would have moved, you know, and I would have been deeply hurt. Like I would have been praying to God to forgive me and forgive my kids. These dumb motherfuckers gonna stay in North Carolina, think that they protected, and eventually that people like, you know, the ones out there that's ready to hood, you want to call them ratchet chicks. You want to look at them like they ain't nothing, but they bout it. That's listen, I get down with the hood. I love my people. They know when they see me, Nurse Lashley don't judge. Grace don't judge. We down for the cause. I don't put everybody in my circle, in my personal life. You could be clean, dirty, whatever. But out there, you do what you do at the end of the day. But we're going to keep it real over here. So if you want more information about Shanquella Robinson, this is where you can find more information about her. Now, we have another live that's actually coming up in about at 9:15. But I really want to get into this next topic because, you know, we talked about the YSL case. So if y'all interested in that, we're going to be going over damn prosecutor going wild, black woman going wild, baby. But before we talk about that, we're going to go to a short commercial and we're going to come back and we're just going to give you some highlights so you guys can remember Kanika Jenkins. This is a similar case. If y'all don't remember Kanika Jenkins, her case is unsolved right now and no one is charged and her friends left her in the freezer. But let me show you a little something. All right. I just wanted to take a little break. I had to drink some water. Y'all see my mason jar. I'm in Georgia. Now, I had to figure out. Now I understand why they use mason jars out here. Because I'm from Jersey. But you know why? Because in the summertime, those little funky nets, they get in your stuff. Okay? So I was like, mason jars? Oh, it's not just to preserve. It's to get them damn nets out your stuff. So that's one thing. Now, let's get into what's going on, or just to give y'all an update about these things happen in the Black community more than one time. And we cry out for justice from a system that we know has suppressed us on so many other levels. And I don't want to badger my Black people in our concept of thinking, but it's a repeated offense from the people that we call the American judicial system. Even when the Joyce Floyd case came at the beginning, it took us to push because they were literally saying that we did not see what we saw. And that's the same thing with her case with the Shanquella Robinson. There's no way that the United States can't pick up at least one charge on these people. Let me give you an example. They can't say that, oh, it happens outside the United States on the internet or, in the video. You know these people are from the United States. Secondly, you see a plain out crime, assault happen on the internet. It's violence. You can censor and you can track all of these people for talking about stuff and try to prosecute people against the United States for what they talk about, but you can't prosecute the Cabo Six. Okay? It's, oh my God, the Iowa. Did I write it down here? Dag, I keep wanting to talk about this Black group. It is an international group that's being charged with international crimes for having opinions. They didn't do anything. They're in federal court because they went to Russia and talked to people. So it's how they want to apply stuff. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. But let me give you a little flashback on my baby girl, because this was one of the situations that helped this channel get as much subscribers as it did at one point. Because years ago, I talked about the Kenneka Jenkins case and, you know, possibilities of how to get the case open, how to get some type of justice for the mother. And civilly, I would hope that the mother was able to go after the actual hotel for negligence, because even if they said that the friends wasn't responsible, nobody did nothing to her, the way they kept that hotel was grossly negligent, that they had a place that was being repaired that was accessible to people, maybe babies, kids that can go in there and get injured. So let's listen to the final moments of Kenneka Jenkins seen on the video, just to remind you guys of the gross naiveness of us. Because when you know about the Kenneka Jenkins case, there was so much rumors about her friends not liking her, being jealous of her. And even though it was the internet rumors, I'm gonna keep it real. YouTube, Black YouTube, internet, they do their thing. Okay? And they be finding the stuff. So I'm not gonna disregard it.
Hours of new video are released revealing more about a woman found dead in a hotel freezer. CBS 2's Audrina Bigas joins us now. So you poured through this video. What is it showing us?
36 hours of video, and this was just released to us a few hours ago. This video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking into the kitchen, but we never see her entering the freezer. And tonight, that is why her family is not satisfied with the theory that she walked into the freezer on her own. Surveillance video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking with friends at the Crowne Plaza Hotel early Saturday morning. We see her a few hours later by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down this hallway. Another camera catches her running into a stairwell and then catching her fall. Video time codes appear to show Kenneka roaming the hotel for over an hour.
She's trying to find her way, and no one from Crowne Plaza Hotel responds to her.
Around 3:30 a.m., Kenneka enters a lower-level kitchen in the hotel. She walks out of frame, but then she's captured walking here on another camera. But we still don't see her entering the freezer.
I want to see her literally actually walking into this freezer and closing us up within this freezer.
I want all of the recordings, all of the communications, all of the reports, the statements that were taken. I want to know the individuals that were there.
Tonight, Rosemont police say 31 people were at the party with Kenneka inside the hotel room, booked with a fraudulent credit card. Police say they're still trying to identify and find 15 of the partygoers. Meanwhile, autopsy and toxicology results have yet to be released.
Why is Kenneka dead? That's where we need to be. We will get to the bottom of it. We will only go to where the facts lead us.
Kenneka's family attorneys say they will be conducting their own independent investigation. They're also considering a second autopsy. Rob and Erica, that's because there's still a lot of unanswered questions tonight.
Let me stop here because we're going to stop on this note. I follow Miss Jenkins, Kenneka's mother. Until this day, she has not said that she got justice for Kenneka. Okay? In this gross negligence situation on the behalf of the hotel and the friends. Your friend is missing for 1 full hour and you don't go look for them. This is the mentality. This is my closing statements about this. This is our mentality of our youth and our society. We're a very grimy society, and we have to fix it, Black community, because obviously you see that no one's going to protect us. They're going to pick and choose when they want to protect us, how they want to protect us, depending on what political season it is in, and all types of things of the third. We have to continue to suffer with these type of injustice to the point that when we blow up and you have my ghetto girls out there tearing down ass, you gonna say, oh, vigilantiness. You can't do that. You can't do that. But what you expect the Black community to do after all of this injustice, and even if we're doing it to each other, it still needs to be an equally yoked justice system that we could depend that people are going to be prosecuted properly, or people who didn't do anything don't be prosecuted improperly. Because people seems like you could just do nothing and you be in jail. But when you do something, it's a possibility you may not be in jail in America. How about that? Did I say it right or didn't I say it right? So with that, I'm going to say on that note, I will see y'all about 9:15 or so. We're going to be going over the YSL case. I'm going to be running my mouth for another hour or so. We're going to talk about that prosecutor. But until then, gotta go.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.